Good morning, good afternoon, Simply Well Society. I'm so glad you are here. Welcome to the new year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday celebration if you do celebrate the holidays. And let's go ahead and continue our yoga practice. If you've made the New Year's resolution to practice more, that's amazing. I definitely appreciate you watching this video and kind of contributing to that goal of yours. Or if you're a regular practitioner, awesome job for keeping it up. Let's go ahead and get started today with we're gonna work some hip flexibility. So this will be yoga class for open hips. We're gonna do a lot of internal and external hip rotation. So hopefully you will leave feeling nice and good. Most of us do have pretty tight hips from either sitting in a desk all day, walking a lot, or doing like repetitive motions with your legs. So it's easy for the hips to kind of be stuck in one position. So we're gonna work on that today. Let's go ahead and get started on our backs. So lie down on your back. Let's say any comfortable position. I'm going to suggest bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide, but if that does not feel good, go for something else. So already this is a pretty big open hip posture. You could bring your hands onto your thighs to even deepen it, or you could put some blocks or pillows outside of your thighs to make it a little bit less. Now try to flatten the spine, or at least the upper spine, as much as you can. Little tuck of the chin. Feel a gentle opening through your heart space. Start to close your eyes and find your breath. As we move into some uncomfortable poses or positions, especially with the hips, you can feel a lot of sensation. So I want you to think of your breath as your anchor. You can always come back to that to ground you into the present moment. If you lose control of your breath, maybe the pose is a little bit too much and we back off. However, if the pose is just uncomfortable and you can maintain control of your breathing, that's usually exactly where we want to be. That's how the change happens. You become more flexible. Let's take a big breath in and exhale. One more big breath in. Exhale. If you are in this reclined bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana, bring your hands outside of your thighs and close your knees like a book. Hug your legs into your chest, and then draw some circles with the knees away from each other. So really working into the hip joint. If you do have a lot of hip mobility and you almost feel like you could draw bigger circles, you don't need to use your hands. You could just circle out the knees, draw really, really big circles. And then let's go the other direction. All right, let's bring both knees into the chest. Keep your right leg in. Plant your left foot on the mat. So hug the right knee towards the right armpit, and we're gonna take a half happy baby. Stack your right ankle over your right knee. Try to take right peace sign fingers to the big toes and pull your leg down. You could also grab your foot or just the back of the hamstring and keep pulling the right knee towards the right armpit and stamp your right heel up towards the ceiling. Try to get both shoulder blades on the mat, and if you want more sensation, go ahead and extend that left leg forward. Flex your foot for 3, 2, and 1. Figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Stay here with that left foot on the mat or hug your legs up towards you. The more you pull in, the more sensations. You can adjust the pose, like most, to be more difficult, more active, or passive. Then you can almost use your left elbow to kind of, or your right elbow, I'm sorry, to press your right knee away from you. Now release that grip. Plant your left foot on the mat. Now keep this figure 4. I want you to take both knees over to the right. keeping the right foot on top of the left thigh. So kind of a funky twist. Look off to the left and reach your left arm to the left. So you'll probably feel this in the lower back on the left side, maybe a little bit behind the hip or even into the waistline. We'll do a more natural twist in just a moment. Let's bring those knees up through center. Now slide your right leg more over your left and drop your knees to the left. Now looking off to the right, this should feel a little bit more natural, like a twist we often do. Few deep breaths. Now bring your knees back through center, but keep them crossed. Kick your right foot to the left foot to the right. So your feet are kicking away from each other with the right knee on top. Reach your hands forward. So your left hand will grab your right ankle, your right hand will grab your left ankle, and then think of pulling your feet in opposite directions. 3, 2, and 1. Release the grip, keep your knees crossed, rock and roll up to a seat. And you're gonna try to take as much as you can a cow face pose with that right leg on top. So you rocked up to a seat with the right leg, the right knee still on top. Now if it doesn't look quite like this, I know it's the beginning of our practice, it might look something more like this. That's okay. You can use your right hand to push your right knee to the left, and your left hand to push your left knee to the right. Think about pulling this right foot back a little bit. You should definitely feel this in your outer hips. I like to grab the feet to kind of keep them from moving and fidgeting. Try to sit up nice and tall and breathe into your hips. We'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release your hands. I want you to swing your right leg back so it's pointing towards the back of your mat, and then bring the bottom of your left foot to your right inner thigh. So your legs are at 90 degrees. Bring your right hand towards your right foot. Stretch your left arm up and over. Big side body lengthen. Try to look up under that left armpit. Take an inhale, rise up through center. Plant your left hand outside your left hip. Roll onto your left shin and sweep your right arm up. So kind of like a gate pose, stargazer pose. Straighten out that right leg. Feel a lot of length through the right side. Should feel pretty nice. And then slowly lower your seat back down. Turn yourself towards your right leg. We'll take both legs extended. You're facing the back of your mat, both legs extended forward. Lift your legs up for a Navasana boat pose. Knees bent will be a little easier, legs straight will definitely be harder. So you choose. We will be doing this again, so you can take the easier option now if you want to try the harder one later. For a 5 count, slowly start to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. 5, 4, think 1 vertebrae at a time. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Let's take a full body lengthen, arms overhead. And then go ahead and hug both knees into your chest, but keep your left leg in and put your right foot onto the mat. Hug your left knee towards your left armpit. Then we're going to go half happy baby. Left ankle over left knee. I like left peace sign fingers to the big toes and think about pulling that leg down. You could also grab the foot. Now if you want more sensation, right leg extending. You'll definitely feel that. We'll be here and breathe. Excuse me, for 3, 2, 1. Right foot back to the mat if it's not already. Figure 4. Left ankle over the thigh. Maybe you pull the legs in towards you. If you do a good amount of yoga, you'll probably need to pull the legs in towards you to feel a sensation. At least for me, I've been practicing for a while and I don't feel too much right here. So I want you to go where you feel sensation. Allow that to guide you. And then let's go ahead and release that grip. Now we're going to take that funky twist. So put your right foot back down on the mat. If it's not, take your knees to the left while keeping your left foot on top of your right thigh and look off to the right. So you'll feel a nice little twist, a little stretch through the lower back on the right side into the waist. Now bring your knees up through center, slide your left leg more over your right, and take a more natural twist. So the knees go to the right, look to the left. I always get a few spinal adjustments here. So if your back is cracking a little bit, don't worry about it. Hopefully getting things moving, leaving the mat, feeling better than you did when you stepped on. And then slowly roll onto your back, but keep your left leg on top of your right. Now, think about like Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Kick your feet in the opposite directions. So the hands really just reach forward. The right hand naturally grabs the left ankle. The left hand might need to reach a little bit more and grab for your right ankle. And then pull the feet in opposite directions. You should definitely feel this in your outer hips. I really like to flex the feet here and try to pull the tailbone back down. Gentle tuck of your chin. And then release that grip. Now get some momentum. Try to rock all the way up to a seat, keeping the legs as they are. Of course, adjusting once you get there. You'll probably have to pull your left foot back a little bit. Again, you can use your hands to kind of press the knees, maybe finding a little bit more depth on this side. Usually one side's a little easier than the other. You can always grab your ankles, or I didn't mention it before, but you could walk your hands forward. To me, I always get more sensation that way, and since we're still early on in our practice, it might just be best to stay up nice and tall. Breathe into your outer hips. 3. Whew. 2. And 1. Now your right leg, the bottom leg, stays as is. Take your left leg, unwind it, and sweep it all the way back towards the front of your mat. So left leg is kind of pointing to the corner of the front of your mat. Bottom of the right foot to the inner left thigh. So again, your hips are at 90 degrees. Reach your left hand towards your left foot and your right arm up and over, big side stretch. Look up under your right tricep. Now, lift yourself back up. Plant your right hand outside your right hip. Roll onto your right shin and send your hips up for stargazer pose. Try to look down at your right hands. Squeeze your glutes and press your spine in towards your heart. Lower your hips back down. And then extend your right leg to meet your left leg. We'll take both legs extended forward. And as promised, boat pose Navasana round 2. Maybe this time you try to straighten your legs now that the core is a little bit more warmed up. Lift your sternum and relax your shoulders. Keep your breath moving. Remember, the breath is the anchor. We'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock and roll up and down your spine. We'll do this maybe 3 times. And on that last one, cross over your ankles and we'll meet in the tabletop position. Tabletop position facing the front of your mat. Adjust your hands and your knees as needed. Spread your fingers out. On your inhale, arch your back. We're going to do 5 rounds of cat-cow. Exhale, round. That's 1. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Maybe even close your eyes. Notice the sensations you feel in your body from the pressure of the mat underneath you to the feeling of your spine as you move. Last 2. Last one. Meet with a neutral spine. We're going to go ahead and lift the right leg up. So just hovering the knee for big hip circles. So right leg, big hip circles, one direction. I like to go back first. It feels a little bit more natural. And then go forward circles. Now, keeping the right knee bent, extend the right knee out to the right. Keep your feet flexed. This should be pretty challenging. Look down between your thumbs. Try to lift the right knee, the right foot up a little bit higher. Great. Bring it back down. We're going to do that a few times. Lift your right leg up. And exhale, lower. Right leg up to the right. Exhale, lower. Last 3. Use your breath. 2. And 1. Right knee down. Do that on the left side. Big circles, left hip. Take it back first, or however you did it on the other side. And then the other direction. All right, left leg's going to go out to the left, and at first we just hold. Flex the foot, try to get the knee out in line with the hip. Minimize the arch in the lower back by pulling your belly button up and in for 3, 2, 1. Bring your left knee down. All right, 5 of these, lift and lower with the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Keep your toes flexed. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Slow and controlled. Lift up. Lower. Last 2. Last 1. All right, left knee down. Let's grab a puppy pose. This is a nice stretch through your glutes. Forehead down, hips high. Think of flipping the tailbone up and melting the sternum down. Now, forehead down is great. If you have the space, you can do chin to mat. Even grab the top of your mat. That's what I like to do. If you feel you have the flexibility. Otherwise, think about lengthening the glute muscles, the hamstrings. Pull your belly button in and press the tops of your feet down. Slide all the way forward onto your stomach. We're going to grab a half frog pose. Bring your right leg out to the right. Stack your palms. Then imagine someone pressing this right hip down. You could even do it to yourself. It doesn't feel quite the same, but you can kind of use your right hand to press the right hip down a little bit. All right, we're going to put right hand under right shoulder, left arm out to the left. Roll onto your left shoulder, step your right foot behind. So we do this often as a shoulder stretch. I want your head to relax to the mat. You'll definitely feel this in your left shoulder, but you might also want to circle out that right leg. I always kind of feel this as well, kind of into this right glute here. It's a nice opening through the hips, even though obviously most of the focus is on the shoulders. One more breath. Roll back onto your stomach. Now let's bring the left leg out to the left for this half frog pose. So your toes are flexed, pointing out. Everything is in a 90-degree angle. Now again, think about pressing your left hip down. So the hips are you're trying to get both hip points to the mat. And then kind of melt into the stretch, like an active stretch. Left hand under left shoulder. Extend your right arm out to the right. Start to roll onto the right shoulder, right hip as you step the left foot behind. Breathing, of course, into the right shoulder joint. You should feel it there. But also maybe roll out the left hip a little bit. And then feel that nice opening through the hips. You could even bring your left hand kind of onto your left thigh and press it out to the left. Be here for 3, 2, and 1. Roll back onto your stomach. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's go ahead and roll up to a cobra pose. Roll the shoulders onto your back. And then let's go downward facing dog. Hips to the sky, pedal out your legs. The hips should already be feeling, warmed up, a little bit looser, hopefully. Find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Spread your fingers out and press your inner palms down. Let's go ahead and lift the right leg up behind you. On your exhale, crunch your right knee into your nose. Now, cross your right ankle over your left thigh as you sink back to kind of like a figure 4 bear pose. So both knees are bent with the right ankle over the left thigh. Right foot flexed, even pressure in your palms. So this should feel pretty good on your lower back. Think of sending your right knee back. Now, as you shift forward, you're going to drop your right shin down on the mat. So the right shin is as close to parallel with the top of the mat that you can. And the left knee is still behind the right ankle. Now, I want the top of your right foot down, the top of your left foot down. Walk your hands back as much as you can. If you'd like, you could use blocks here. If you feel you have the stability, you could bring your hands onto your hips and think about sending your hips forward. So I honestly do not know what this shape is called. It is somewhat of a kneeling figure 4 shape, but you should feel definitely some opening through your hips and in a way that we don't usually stretch. So this is not like a pigeon pose. This doesn't even feel like a figure 4 because your toes are pointed. You'll notice the back wants to arch a lot, so try to pull the belly button back and in for 3, 2, and 1. Now slowly bring your hands back down. Now I want you to lift your right knee up into your chest. Unthread so the right leg goes back. So you're in a 3-leg tabletop. And then step your right foot towards your right thumb. We're going to meet in a runner's lunge. Runner's lunge with the right foot forward, both arms up. Now tuck your back toes and push your hips back a little bit. It's like you're driving into your right heel. You're going to feel this more in your left hip flexor now. And then as you sink forward, drive your hips, melt your hips a little forward. So I just want you to push into your right heel, send your hips a little back, and then melt your hips a little forward. Hips a little back and forward. Now let's release to a half split. Should feel pretty good. Maybe roll out the right ankle or point and flex. Windshield wiper side to side. All right, let's go modified side plank to the back. Turn your right toes in, left hand to the back of the mat, sweep your right arm overhead. Left hand down, back of the mat, big reach through your right arm, lift your right leg up. Let's go ahead and bend the knee. Try to keep the knee, the foot, and the hip in one line, and then take your right hand back. If you don't grab your foot, that's okay, but I want you to stay here. Otherwise, grab your foot and kick into your hand. Gaze up a little bit harder, gaze down a little bit easier. 3, 2, 1. Release your grip. Put your right foot back down. We're in our modified side plank. Bring your right hand down, roll onto your right toes. Your left knee is on the mat. As you press into your hands, extend your left leg back behind you for 3-leg down dog. Inhale. Exhale, crunch your left knee into your nose. Now, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. If you need to walk your hands back a tad, that's all good. Bend both knees and think about sending the left knee back. Even pressure in your palms. Should feel really good on that left hip. We'll be here for 3. Figure 4, bear pose, facing the back of the mat, 2. 1. Now you're going to shift forward, drop your left shin and your right knee down to the mat. The left shin is as close to parallel with the back of the mat as you can. The right knee is still in contact with the left ankle. Tops of the feet down. Walk your hands back as much as you can, and maybe you stay here. If you want the challenge, try to bring your hands onto your hips and send your hip points forward. So you'll feel the stretch in the outer hips. It should feel pretty funky. Notice the lower back wants to arch a little bit. So just try to minimize that by tucking the pelvis a bit, pulling your belly button back. Keep your breath moving. We'll be here for 3. 2. And 1. Slowly bring your hands back down to the mat. Now, you're going to lift your left knee up, hug the knee into the chest, and kind of unthread that left leg. So the left leg goes back. And then exhale, take a step towards your left thumb. Readjust your legs so you can meet in a low lunge with the left leg forward. Feel the hips melt forward, and then I want you to tuck your right toes. Press down into your left heel and kind of lift your torso back, send your hips back a little bit. And then exhale, melt forward. Drive your left heel down, press your hips back, and melt forward. So try to get that sweet spot where you almost feel like you're really stretching into that right hip flexor. Let's do one more. And release. Hands down, half splits. Flex your left toes, move it around if that feels good. You can definitely tell my left hip flexor is a little bit more tight than the right because the one side feels a little bit more challenging than the other. So if that's the same for you, no problem. It's very natural. Let's go ahead and turn the left toes in. Take it to the back of the mat. Right hand down. Reach your left arm up and over your head for modified side plank. Now send your hips forward, lengthen through your left side, and lift your left leg up. Bend your left knee and sweep your left arm back. Now you don't need to grab the foot. You can just stay right here. That's great. But if you're grabbing the foot, you're kicking back instead of up. So not up, just kicking back. It's a little bit of a back bend. Gaze down easier, gaze up harder for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Left foot back down to modified side plank. Left hand down. Both hands at the top of the mat, roll onto your right knee and step back high plank. On your inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, knees up or down. Inhale, cobra pose or upward facing dog. Squeeze your thigh muscles and pin your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. We're going to do a few standing poses for your hips. Exhale, take a step up between your thumbs and open up to a warrior 2. Nice open hips here. Squeeze your glute muscles towards each other so you can really feel the hips go kind of away from each other, the knees go away from each other. 3 times. You're going to inhale, straighten your legs, reach your arms up, press your palms together, and exhale back to your warrior 2. Inhale, straight legs, reach up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straight legs, reach up. Exhale, warrior 2. Last time, straight legs, reach up and turn your right toes in. Now grab a goddess pose. Goddess pose with the heels in, toes out. Bring your hands onto your thighs. I like thumbs on the middle, all 4 other fingers on the outside, like you're rotating your thighs outwards. And then you can almost kind of rest here, like you're pressing the legs outwards with kind of the resting weight of your upper body. Now, drop your right shoulder towards your left knee. This should feel really nice. Look over your left shoulder. Back through center. Drop your left shoulder towards your right knee. Look over your right shoulder. Come back through center. Straighten your legs and rise all the way up. Turn your toes in and wide leg forward fold. You can do anything you'd like with the hands. I'm going to do hands to mat, chaturanga arms. Squeeze your thigh muscles and press evenly into all 4 corners of your feet. But feel pretty light in the toes. So try to put the pressure in the ball of the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and then 2 points in the heels. Light toes. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Then we're going to go ahead and walk towards the back of the mat. Your left foot should be in the center, so wiggle it there. Spin your right heel down and open up Warrior 2 facing the back of your mat. So it's your left knee bending. Again, feel your hips externally rotate and reach your arms in opposite directions. On your inhale, straighten your legs, press your palms together, look up. Exhale, Warrior 2, bend your left knee. 2 more. Inhale, straight legs. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, straight legs. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, straight legs. Turn your left toes in. Grab a goddess pose. This time, we're going to do left elbow onto the left thigh, palm face up, like you're holding a tray. Reach your right arm up and over. Now, try to sink your right hip as much as you're sinking your left hip. Now switch, right elbow, right thigh, palm face up, left arm up and over. This should be challenging. I feel that way. 3. Light toes, 2. 1, back through center, rise up to standing. Turn your toes in and wide leg fold. Again, you can do anything you'd like with the hands. This time I'm going to grab peace sign fingers to the big toes. You could also grab your ankles or your feet. Try to lengthen through your waist, shoulders up away from the ears. Keep your breath. On your inhale, lift up halfway, and then walk it towards the front of your mat. Step your left foot up to meet your right forward fold. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to stand, reach up. Bring your hands to your heart center and down by your side. All right, let's go into a chair pose. Bend your knees and reach both arms up. Now, as you kind of come up to standing, really just think about straightening the right leg. The left knee is going to stay bent. Now, draw a big circle with this left knee back, and I want you to come into a half moon pose. So you kind of opened up your own hip. Right hand down, mat or block. You could also float the right fingertips if you have the balance today. 3, 2. Now the same way you got in, I want you to come right back up towards standing. Start to bend your left knee. This should be hard. Left knee comes forward, knee bent, knee bent, knee bent. And then put that left foot back down. So you're kind of drawing a big circle and hinging forward at the same time. Again, bend your knees for chair pose. Now, keeping the weight in that left leg, bring your right knee up in towards you. So one leg Tadasana, right knee up. Now think about drawing a big circle with this right leg. Send it back, start to tip forward, left hand down, mat or block, and then straighten your right leg for half moon. Squeeze the glute muscles, stack your shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. The same way you got in, slow and controlled. Start to bend the knee, bring that right knee forward, 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 and bring it back down. Woo! All right, you guys, let's go ahead and grab a chair pose one more time. Last time, I promise. Let's go ahead, hands heart center, lift your heels up and come into a toe stand. You can always bring your hands to blocks or the mat out in front of you. Lift your heels up and press your ankle bones forward. Bring your hands to your heart center and squeeze your inner thighs. Pull your belly button back and in. And then slowly I'm going to have you drop your seat down. Extend both legs forward. Move your sitting bones out of the way. Reach both arms up. And then hinge. So think about casting a net over your feet. You don't need to grab your feet, but you could always grab ankles or shins. But moving the butt kind of out of the way and feeling the sitting bones go down helps you get that nice pelvic tilt. A bit of compression in the hip flexors here. You're probably feeling those from some of the work we did already today. And then walk yourself back out. Now, bend your left knee behind you. So point the left toes back, and then bring the bottom of the right foot to the front of the left knee. So you're kind of in this like zigzaggy position. Now start to roll onto your right hip. I want you to see if you can use your hip flexibility to further get your leg back towards pigeon pose. So think about lifting left leg back. Maybe you have to use your hands to get there. This is very challenging. You're going to shift the weight forward, kind of into an active pigeon, and keep moving your left leg back. So now some people like active pigeon. You're staying upright and kind of pressing the earth away with this right shin. I'm kind of indifferent to it on this side. On the left side, it hurts me. So if it hurts you, definitely don't do it. But if you kind of feel that nice, active working sensation, you can definitely stay in this active pigeon pose. Otherwise, we'll hinge it forward for sleeping pigeon. You never want to get to that place where you kind of feel the pinching or like something could snap pain. It's definitely not what we want. We are more after like the muscle discomfort where you feel you could get there, it's just the flexibility is not quite there. And that's what we want to breathe into, and that's the discomfort we want to welcome into our practice so that we can get better and improve our flexibility. Few more breaths here in pigeon pose. Slowly start to walk your hands back towards you. We're going to try to get out the same way we got in. So rolling onto the right hip. Start by sliding your left knee up towards your right foot. And then we're going to try to, without using our hands as much as we can, get into this on the other side. So from where you are, I want you to lift, roll onto your right hip, bring your left shin out in front of you, like into an easy seat. So you're almost in an easy seated position. You're kind of going to roll to the left and bring your right knee behind your left foot. So into this kind of zigzaggy shape. Keep rolling to the left, and you're going to lift your right leg behind you. You might go halfway at first. Kind of lift your hips up a little bit into this active pigeon. Again, you can always use your hands as an assist to wiggle that right leg back behind you. Now, again, if active pigeon feels really nice on this side, you feel like you're getting that nice deep opening, deep stretch that feels good, stay there. Like I said, for me, it doesn't feel so nice on this side. So I'm going to come forward, sleeping pigeon when you're ready. We've done a lot of different and unconventional hip movements today, so I hope your body has been challenged. I hope you've moved in a different way than you're used to. That's always the goal. You know, kind of keep the body guessing. If you just do the same thing, same routine every day, it's hard to see changes unless you're, you know, increasing your rep count or weights, but we don't really use weights here in yoga, so you kind of got to switch up a little bit of what you do. You want to increase the flexibility as much as possible while maintaining the strength. Few more breaths in pigeon pose. If you never challenge yourself, it'll never change. All right. Slowly, slowly, start to walk those hands back under the shoulders. Now, try, without the hands, to slide your right knee up towards the bottom of your left foot, and then bring that right shin out in front of you. Easy seated position. All right. We're going to meet in an easy seat if you have not gotten there yet. Let's go ahead and kind of roll the shoulders onto the back a few times. I want you to bring your hands onto your knees, but palms face up. Let the palms relax, so any clenching you might feel in the fingers, kind of let that go. Start to close your eyes here. You can bring your thumb and your index finger to touch, Gyan Mudra. Feel the connection of your thumb to your index finger. Almost feel like there's a circuit running through your fingers, a non-stop flow of energy. It's a very light press. It doesn't have to be forceful or strong. A very gentle connection. Follow your breath as it comes in through your nose. Feel the crown of your head lift up a little bit. Feel your torso fill up with air, and on your exhale, feel your torso deflate a little bit. Feel your hips become heavy. Again, inhale, fill up. Exhale, let it go. Follow your breath in and feel the sensations as you fill up. You feel your lungs, your torso, your rib cage expand. And exhale. Feeling the sinking sensation, trying to compress all the air out of your body. Slowly start to bring some awareness back to your sitting bones, maybe the outside of your ankles, the outer edge of your feet, anything touching the mat, the glutes. Feel the awareness rise in your body, noticing all the other muscles, the relaxation through your shoulders, heaviness through your eyelids. Wiggle your fingers, and then reach both arms up. Press your palms together. Gradually draw your hands all the way down to your heart center and press your thumbs into your sternum. Take a moment of honor for your body and your practice. We're moving in a different and new way, trying something new, some new stretches, hopefully feeling really good and open. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale. Gently open your eyes. Awesome job, you guys. That was so challenging. Thank you so much for tuning in and really doing something different. A lot of these things I rarely do when I teach classes in person or even practice on my own. So they're really, really different stretches that hopefully leave you feeling really open and limber for the rest of your day. And now you can take these with you into your everyday routine or just keep coming back and practicing this nice video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I so appreciate your subscription. It is the best way to support my channel, so thank you so much for doing that. And I hope to see you here next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.